Hello, Moms Time Out families. It is time for our May classroom tour. We have been continuing our lessons on the farm a little bit, and then still on some gardening, but we have continued to add some new materials and lessons and vocabulary this month with birds and types of birds. And then also we've been learning a little bit about just respecting and taking care of things in the classroom, as well as following different rules in the classroom. So those grace and courtesy lessons we've been focusing a lot on, especially as some kiddos prepare for school in the fall. We've been talking more about just walking in the classroom, using respectful voices. We've been talking about our materials, when we take work out, making sure to put it back, going over how we relate to each other when we want a work or a material, and how we respectfully wait our turn and things like that. So those are part of the school readiness lessons, but we've also been having some fun this month with different practical life works, transferring butterflies. We've been learning about the difference between magnetic and non-magnetic, as well as weights and measures. And so I will show you those materials right now. First, we'll start with our books like we usually do. All right, so these books by Yuval Zahmer, The Big Book of Birds. He has one on the Big Book of Blooms. There's ones on other animals, sea life, and just regular animals as well. And they're wonderful, very detailed, and just fun for the children to read. So I recommend those. We brought out Madeline as a classic. These Wimmel books on the farm, there's different ones, and they're awesome too. They're just picture books, and so you can, I think on the back, yeah, they have different things that you can look for. So kind of like a Where's Waldo type book. Shirley Hughes, any Shirley Hughes books are just wonderful. Her Alfie stories, she has some other stories as well, but they're beautifully illustrated and just wholesome childhood fun type stories. And so the children have really been enjoying that. And then I wanted to show you this book. It's called Jesus and the Miracle of the Mass by Grace Lee Jagla. Again, I'm not sure if I'm saying right her last name, but she has a couple books out, but this is beautiful. It's called Jesus and the Miracle of the Mass. I would say for definitely great for like 3-4-year-olds. I feel like when I was reading it, the younger ones kind of were like finding other things to do or other books to read. So probably, again, yeah, older, for around the age of 4, I would say. But anyway, just another beautiful book. Okay, over here we still have our birds out. The magnetic birds have been used a lot still, but we'll probably be putting that away for the month of June. And then continuing with magnet work, I kind of just built upon what they were learning with magnets, and now we're starting to sort magnetic and non-magnetic. So there's just a few materials in here that help the children decipher the difference between things that have magnets and things that don't. Here we're doing some weights and measures with the scale. This is a great scale. You can do dry or wet measuring. We've been talking about ducks and singing songs about ducks, so they're learning. If I put more ducks on one side, then the scale tips. Same thing here with this one. This is a great material, I think from Monta Kids. They have some wonderful materials, and same concepts as well. We've been working our hand muscles still with some transferring with the butterflies. This is a little bit more tricky this month because they have to pick up a thinner, object here and then transfer it. So that is that. And then this material is for our youngest kiddos, working different wrist motions, so that really, to us it looks pretty simple, right? You just put the ring in there. But for them to actually figure out how to fit it in is actually challenging for a few, but it works those wrist muscles. And so that is that material. And then over here, we did a little bit of reconfiguring with our insets and just the different language and math materials we have. But we have the sandpaper letters out. We do different games with them. First, we just talk about the letters. We'll just do maybe 2 at a time or 3 depending on the age, but we'll talk about the sounds that they make. And then we'll play a little game where they tell the difference. As they get more practice with these, we'll bring in little objects and we'll play some games with those, like the knock knock game, and just learning, CVC words with the little objects. And then here we have some more sorting with different flowers. So they have to sort, okay, what is a flower and what is a picture, right? A work of art, or just a picture. And then taking it a step further, the flowers actually match the pictures. So then they can also play the little game of finding that flower within that picture. Lastly, for our older kiddos, we do have these CVC words, and they're learning to match, right? So first they'll look at the picture and try to sound it out with these, and then they'll check themselves on the back. So built-in control of error, right? We talk about that with Montessori. The control of error lets them be more independent in their work and builds concentration, so they can see an error themselves and then they can work to fix it themselves instead of having an adult come all the time. Now, naturally, right, as a teacher, as a guide, I'm there, and Miss Jenny is there to help them if they ask for help. Obviously, we would never say no, but if it gives them just more of an opportunity, right, to work through those things on their own. Over here, we've kind of expanded these materials, our rainbow and our building in the spring, and they create fun little designs. They build towers with the rainbow. They come up with all kinds of different things. So those are kind of our open-ended materials. We brought those out this month, and we'll continue kind of building on those throughout the summer. They're just fun to have out in the summertime, and lets them really just be creative and experiment with weights, measures, sizes, shapes, designs, all kinds of things. And then we've been learning a little bit about birds. So these birds usually are used for the lockbox, but then we'll sit down and have some vocabulary lessons with 2 or 3 at a time. So, and then over here, lastly, we've been continuing a little bit about talking about gardening and our gardening tools, learning about birds here. I wanted to talk about when you're setting up puzzles, you'll want to set them up like disassembled. Usually when they're disassembled, they'll be more inclined to actually work on the puzzle versus when the puzzle pieces are already in. So that's how we kind of set up that. And then next we have a classic Montessori material, the sound cylinders. This is a great material showing the isolation of quality, right? You see it with the brown stairs and the pink tower where, this is a building tower. It's solidly pink. There's no letters on one side, animals on the other side, all of that, right? It's just one building tower because we want them to focus on the one quality of discrimination of size and learning big from small. The same here with the sound cylinders. So you can hear how they make different sounds. Their job is to match the correct sounds together, right? The same sounds together from the red box to the blue box, right? Or vice versa. So, but again, these are the same, right? They look the same. The only difference is the color on top, but you can't see what's inside here, right? You can just hear it. And so again, that really helps them in their learning because instead of focusing on, okay, I can see this too, and then I can also hear it, and I can also see how it moves, and it's obviously more than one quality that they're observing. This is just keeps that one quality. So it really builds that quality of sound discrimination as well. This is a fun new material, more size discrimination for our younger kiddos. They have to figure out which one goes in, and then at the end they pull it out and they fall down. So fun little cause and effect activity, but also discrimination of size from littlest to biggest there. So that was a fun material that we added this month. And that is it. So as always, we appreciate just your support of MTO, and this month in particular, where a couple of our friends are leaving for new schools in the fall, so we'll miss them dearly. But for those of you staying in the summer, we're excited to have you. We'll be learning about kind of African animals and some sea animals in the summer. Usually we do also study like the planets in the summer and the moon, and yeah, so it'll be a great summer. We also will be building up our practical life section of the classroom a little more. I wanted to share that I ordered some just curriculum for building up the practical life lessons in the ages of like 1, 2, and 3 specifically, so the toddler ages, and really seeing what we can do there and how we can really cultivate more of those practical life skills for the toddler environment. So I'm excited to learn more there, and I'll be excited to show you those as we go throughout the summer. Lastly, we will be continuing just school readiness skills and those skills that we always learn here at Mom's Time Out as far as grace and courtesy goes. So that's the summer plan. If you, again, please reach out if you have any questions, if you want to see some more, different kinds of materials in the classroom. We always love to hear your thoughts. So thanks again. We'll see you soon. Bye.